While watching the latest episode of Married at First Sight, I saw Kim in a young Brianna.
Read, honey, not read. There's a difference.
Today we're going to talk about the paradox of the bossy woman.
When I first met you was the fact that you were just a little unorganized. I think I'm organized enough for the both of us.
So in this episode, they've come back from a couples retreat and they're laying in bed, just having conversation, shooting the breeze. And, Brianna starts to talk about the dynamics of relationships. And she tells Vincent, I can understand, that process of getting to know someone because, when I first met you, I thought to myself, you're unorganized. And Vincent didn't take this well.
I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm unorganized.
I mean, I think that is one trait that comes natural to some people and it's unnatural to others.
It's not the fact that Brianna wanted to tell Vincent his weakness. There's this idea that traditional men, masculine men, don't want women who have opinions, that don't want women who are direct. They just want us to be quiet and cross our legs and just do as they say. That's not the case. Competent men want competent women in their life. Smart women add a lot to their marriage, and they help their man get to the point of excellence, because marriage is truly a journey and it's a blessing from God. But it has many trials. I mean, the Bible tells us that, if you're married, you're going to have some struggles. So let's talk about Brianna's problem and her complex, because I had the same one. Brianna believes that her bossiness should be accepted because it's a personality trait. And I'm here to tell you, bossiness is not a personality trait.
He told me that at wedding day, the fact that everybody said that I was bossy, he said it was a turnoff. And, me being bossy or me being direct, me being assertive, that's just how I am. So you saying it's a turnoff is kind of taking a jab at one of my characteristics.
Directness, assertiveness, your personality may be very outgoing, no problem with that. But when you're dealing with your man and when you're learning his unique personality, because every man is unique. Now, we might share the same values, the same principles, but there are going to be certain ways that your spouse does not like you to communicate with them. And it's going to be the same way for you. But Brianna seems to think that she can be however she wants, and Vincent should bend to whatever she says.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now, ladies, this is a losing game. You lose in love when you think that a grown man is going to allow you to tell them when to go to sleep, when to wake up, how they should do things, how they should organize their life. Now, they don't mind you putting in your opinion, but Brianna seems to think that she is the queen of organization and she can help her husband get on track. But when her husband tells her, hey, I didn't even want them to pair me with a bossy woman.
I have been with people that are bossy and it just has not worked out for me. But I understand that you are working on it.
She has a huge problem with that and she is hurt. And this is really almost hypocritical. And I find this to be dominant in the modern woman, because we are so educated, because we are so successful, we tend to want to step into roles that are not meant for us as wives. This is why polarity is so important in a relationship. You need that feminine and masculine polarity. Your man is not coming home to be checked like he's being checked by his supervisor or his boss. He's coming home to you because you are his wife. You are the helpmate. And of course you should speak your mind. Of course you should tell your man how you feel, but ladies, it's how you tell him. And what I found the most disturbing about this whole situation, while Vincent does need to get a hold of his emotions, he's also fairly young. That takes time, especially when you've gone through things in your life where maybe you feel like you've always been judged, or, you know, you're trying to be looked at as that man. And I can tell Vincent wants to be that man for Brianna, but he does also need to get a hold of his emotions. But Brianna is a mess, you know. And, you know, the conversation that she had with her mother really didn't help. You know, a lot of mothers are out here just destroying their daughters' relationships left and right.
When you say something, you mean it, and that's what you go after.
Yeah.
That's what you do. So, and you kind of want everybody else to be in line with what you're doing.
No one has to accept you bossing them, all right? I may be the boss of my own life, you know. I may decide that I can go and come as I please. I decide when I go to sleep. I decide what career path I want to explore. I decide if I want to do this or if I want to do that. But once you get married, you are no longer single, and you always have to answer to your spouse. And this is why a lot of marriages in today's society just aren't successful. People want to be married while still being single. And you have to adjust and change to your spouse, okay? Not changing your personality, not changing the way that you communicate, but you have to change the style in which you communicate. You know, if you're a direct person, if you have to get it off your chest, sometimes you have to ask yourself, is this the appropriate time? Is this the right context to bring this up? Is my husband in the headspace to talk about this? And these are things that people just don't care about anymore. And this is why we have so many divorces, so many broken homes, so many people looking for love, but just cannot maintain long-term relationships.
One of my characteristics that's really hard to change, and I honestly don't see it changing, and I don't think that bossy is bad, right? But I do understand that we grew up two different ways. So I think it was just the wording, like the bossy one, but then the turn off too.
Really, I was her. When I was a 22-year-old girl, you know, I kind of felt I could say whatever I wanted. You know, I remember that I literally used to tell my husband, this is my personality. Like, this is me. You know, I can't help who I am. This is my personality. And he would just kind of look at me like, so I just think it's important to understand that this is always going to be the bossy woman's conundrum. Like, you think that because you're intelligent, or you think because you may be smart, or because you may have expertise in somewhere, that you can parent your spouse. And you cannot parent your spouse. It is not Brianna's job to organize Vincent. It is not Brianna's job to tell him when to go to sleep. It is her job to be that loving example in the home to inspire him to be great. He's not a child. He's not her child. And a lot of wives want to treat their husbands as children. But yet these are the same women that are like, you can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me where to go. But yet they want to do it to their husband. I mean, it's crazy, but I understand. A lot of times when I was young in my marriage, I really thought that I had the answer. I mean, I was trying to be helpful. I was trying to show my husband that, hey, you married a competent woman that can help you in life. But he didn't take it that way. He took it as me being domineering, nagging, aggressive. This is not sexy. And a man is not going to want to be around you when you exhibit these personality traits.
Are you happy to be going home to spend a little time alone?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I just want to just relax, chill, and just think about the future. It's nice knowing you.
What does that mean?
Wives, you must get a hold of this boss chick syndrome that is rampant in today's society. No man is really trying to stop you from expressing yourself, you know. No man is really trying to stop you from getting out there and getting your bag. No man is really trying to stop you from being who God wants you to be. But there is a certain dynamic in the traditional relationship structure that must be upheld. You know, the husband is the leader of the home. The husband is that masculine force in our life. As feminine women, we need that. That is a problem for many of us who are more dominant and aggressive with our spouse. Sometimes we can dish it, but we just can't take it. And so I just want to encourage all of you young women to do the opposite of what Brianna is doing. Now, Brianna is beautiful. She's smart. And I think she's really sweet. I think she's going to be an amazing wife when she matures a little bit. But right now, I think that her mentality of, I'm not going to change. This is my personality. I'm bossy. You just got to accept it. I'm not going to change for anybody. This is going to leave Brianna single again in Atlanta, out here looking for a husband, because there is no truly masculine, strong man that is going to allow you to not think about your tone when you're speaking to him, not thinking about his feelings when you're speaking to him. Even though she says, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, it's kind of like saying, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, but I want to say what I want to say, how I want to say it.
He said it was a turnoff, and, you know, me being bossy or me being direct, me being assertive.
And I don't really care how you feel. You need to bow down to me. Only a simp is going to do that. So Brianna may need a more effeminate man. She may need a weaker man, a man who wants his wife to go out there and make the decisions, because there are men who will love for you to go out here and be that boss chick for them. You know, tell them when to eat, tell them when to get up, you know, say, you know, you're unorganized. Like, first of all, me and my husband have very different organization styles. I tend to put something in a random spot and know where it is. He tends to like to put things in a certain way. And, you know, he never shamed me. He always encouraged me, you know, to put things where I can find them. But it was never like in a belittling way, like, I'm organized, you're not organized. This is not a way to run a relationship. And I'm very nervous for Brianna because she thinks it's a Vincent thing, but it's a her thing. She's going to end up single or with a very weak man if she doesn't understand polarity in a relationship. And if she doesn't start understanding that you just can't be going out here telling people what they are and how they should be and how you can improve their life. You have to model that behavior. You are the inspiration. You are the heart of the home. And all of this boss chick stuff, yeah, it's not gonna work. I'm so grateful to God that I grew, you know. I still say what I have to say when I have to say it, but I understand that there are certain times when my husband may be more receptive to certain conversations. I understand that there are certain tones that are inappropriate. And I also understand that there are certain words that I cannot use with him because he's not going to be receptive to me. And if he's not receptive to me, he can't love me the way I need to be loved. And so really, ultimately, this is about your happiness, wives. Like, if you can't get the love and adoration and respect that you want in your relationship because you have to be bossy, which is not a normal, healthy trait to have. You could be assertive, you could be direct, but you are not the boss of anyone else but your children and yourself. So keep this in mind when you're in a relationship. You can join the Wifey for Lifey group Patreon community. I have many videos on this topic of communication. I will be back to talk about this even more. Ladies, I don't understand why Brianna's mother just didn't tell her, honey, you know, you're in a relationship. There's a certain way you're going to have to learn to speak to other people because this is not your employee. This is not your child. You are not the boss of Vincent. And Vincent is going to need to learn how to communicate and let go some of the baggage that he has about being embarrassed. And that's natural. Men have ego, especially masculine men. They have an ego. That is a part of their buildup. It's a part of their survival because we expect men to go out here and produce. At least I expect my man to go out here and produce. And so we have to understand that they have to maintain a certain level of confidence within themselves to be able to be strong men, to be loving, to be contributors to society, to be providers. And it's our role to inspire that. But being bossy, that's not attractive to any masculine man. All right, ladies, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the topic today, and I will see you in my next video. Join us on Patreon if you need help in your marriage. We have conversations there. I have tons of videos because marriage is not easy. It's not easy, but it's so worth it. I'll see you next time. Bye.